Mowgli Legend of the Jungle is the new Jungle Book adaptation that's gone straight to Netflix. It's directed by Andy Serkis, and this film exists to be the darker, grittier and more serious take on the Jungle Book story, because apparently the original book is much darker and much grittier than the Disney films made it out to be. And I understand why Andy Serkis did this film, to make it more accurate to that original book, and it is a much darker, much grittier take on the Jungle Book, but for me personally, a kind of more boring take on the Jungle Book. Now admittedly, this is only the second Jungle Book film that I've ever seen. I've literally only seen Mowgli and the 2016 Jon Favreau Disney Jungle Book, and I've not read the original book either. So if you're a purist type fan of the original Jungle Book novel, you might adore this film for its grittiness and for its darker tone. Me personally, I just don't think the Jungle Book is the kind of story that suits a darker, more serious take. Or I suppose it could be if it was executed well enough on screen. There are some redeeming aspects to this film. I mean, it is visually appealing for the most part, like the scenery of the jungle and the landscapes of the jungle environment, they look pretty good. I thought all the cast did relatively good jobs in their parts, like Christian Bale's Bagheera was quite good. I think Benedict Cumberbatch was awesome as Shere Khan, I will say that. He was the perfect voice for that character. Andy Serkis was okay as Baloo, but they did change the Baloo character from the Disney version. In the Disney version, he's really laid back, really relaxed, really cool. He just wants to have fun and just eat food a lot of the time. But in this film, he's really strict and very stern, and he's really bossy. He's trying to be like the mentor to Mowgli. He's like, no, you need to do this now. Get up and be a wolf now. Again, I don't know if that's how Baloo is portrayed in the original novel. I'm just saying I prefer the Disney laid-back awesome Baloo to the Mowgli strict, stern, kind of a dick Baloo. And the kid who plays Mowgli is fine, he's serviceable. There are some parts where he's quite good, but there are some parts where he's really not. In particular, the parts where he's trying to be really emotional and really dramatic, he doesn't quite stick the landing, and he's got quite a ways to go to improve his acting skills. One thing that kind of pulled me out of this film was the look of the animals. Not that the CGI in them was bad, the CGI was perfectly fine, but they look quite cartoony to me. Unlike the 2016 Jungle Book film, the actors actually did motion capture for the animals, so when you look at the animals like Bagheera for instance, you can tell that it's Christian Bale's face on Bagheera, and it just pulls me out of it, and it looks really unnatural and unrealistic. And with the film trying to be a more serious take on Jungle Book, it just kind of collided with that serious tone for me, and it just pulled me out of it every time I looked at one of the animals and saw the faces of the actors portraying the animals on the body of the animals. That might sound like a nitpick for some people, but it was something that bothered me, it stood out to me, and it compromised the experience of the film as a whole for me. There's not really much else to say about this film, because it pretty much is the same Jungle Book story that you already know. Shere Khan wants to kill Mowgli, Mowgli's trying to escape Shere Khan, the other animals are trying to protect Mowgli. There are some differences to the 2016 film in the sense that Mowgli's trying to train to become a hunter as part of the wolf pack, and there's a part in the film where Mowgli's hanging out with the humans at the human village. But it is pretty much the same story with similar beats, so there's nothing to talk about from a narrative perspective. Your enjoyment of this film is all going to depend on whether or not you're into gritty dark films, which I am. You know, gritty dark films done well, I can buy into. But the Jungle Book, like I said, is just a kind of premise that I could not buy into as a serious take on it. And I just didn't really enjoy this film. It lacked everything that made the 2016 Jungle Book a fun film for me, which is the cool characters, fun sense of adventure, the heart, and just the sense of fun in general. I just didn't really have fun with this film. If you've been waiting for a dark, serious, gritty take on Jungle Book, this might be Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you. But if not, you're going to watch this film and think, where's Bare Necessities? I miss it. Let's go watch the 2016 one instead. I'm going to give Mowgli Legend of the Jungle a 2 out of 5. So did you guys watch Mowgli on Netflix? What did you think about it? Were you one of the people who wanted a dark, serious Jungle Book film? How did you think this film did in that aspect? Or did you prefer the Disney Jungle Book? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. And if you want to see more of my stuff, click on one of these things in a second, and I'll see you all next time.